Let's do a couple more examples. Example number 4, y equals 4x squared plus 8x minus 1. To find the axis of symmetry, find the opposite of b and place it over 2a. Now that you have your axis of symmetry, find the vertex point by plugging in your value from the axis of symmetry, which is x equals -1, into your equation to solve for the y value. Your vertex point, which is the turning point of the parabola, is at -1, -5. The axis of symmetry is the vertical line identified as x equals -1. Now let's try the next example. Notice the a value for number 5 is negative. That means that when you draw your parabola, it's going to be opening downward. For the axis of symmetry, take the opposite of b, in this case is 4, and put that over 2a. In this case, that would be 2 times -1. Then plug in your axis of symmetry value of -2 into your equation to solve for your vertex point. Let's complete one more example. Example number 6. Y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 9. Your a value is 2, your b value is -12, and your c value is 9. When you find your axis of symmetry, you will do the opposite of b, which is 12, over 2a, which is 2 times 2. Take the 3 from your axis of symmetry and plug it into the equation to solve for the y value. Once you have your x and y value, you can write your vertex point. We will now look at analyzing quadratic graphs. Take a look at graph A and graph B. Then we'll answer the following questions. Number 1, what is the axis of symmetry for graph A? To find the axis of symmetry for graph A, find the vertical x value that separates the parabola into two congruent segments. This red line is your axis of symmetry, which is located at -2. We'll do the same thing for graph B. Number 3, what is the vertex of graph A? Remember, the vertex is the turning point on the parabola. Since this parabola opens upward, this is a minimum value. Now we will find the vertex for graph B and do the same. Since graph B opens downward, the vertex point is a maximum because it is the top of the parabola. Now we will identify the domain and range from graph A. Remember, we did this when we looked at functions. Domain for a parabola and for any function is the values that qualify that are x. The x values for graph A are all real numbers. The range is your y values. All the y values for graph A are no smaller than -5. -5 is the smallest possible y value for this graph. Therefore, the range is y is greater than or equal to -5. Now we will do the same thing for graph B. For graph B, your domain is also going to be all real numbers. This is because the parabolas never end, and if you notice, there are arrow points indicating that this parabola continues to go further to the left and further to the right on the graph. The range, as you can see, are y values that are at 4 or below. For number 7, in order to identify the equation, we need to locate the axis of symmetry and look at the type of number that the a value is. Looking at the graph, the axis of symmetry is -2.